Welcome back to the quarterly call. All content is for informational purposes and is not investment advice. Please consult with an investment professional. We are going to jump right into it today.
Okay.
We're taking a look at Meituan.
All right.
They had some pretty impressive results for Q4 and actually the full year of 2024,
Yeah.
like 22% jump in revenue.
That's big.
Yeah, it is. 337.6 billion RMB.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of yuan.
That is a lot of yuan, a lot of growth there.
Yeah, and it seems to be pretty widespread growth too.
Yeah.
Not just like one part of their business taking off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They are up to over 770 million annual transacting users
Wow.
and 14.5 million active merchants.
Yeah, that's huge.
So that scale is like,
So what do you think is driving all this? I'm curious.
well, I think when you're talking about Meituan, you got to start with their on-demand delivery business,
Yeah.
right? Like that is such a core part of what they do,
Makes sense.
and it's still growing strong. In 2024, like throughout the year,
Okay.
they're handling at peak over 98 million orders a day.
Wow. That's
That's more than some countries.
it's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of people ordering things through their app every single day.
Every single day.
But it's not just about the sheer volume.
Okay.
Like they're really working on making the whole experience better.
I see.
Like for both the people who are using the app and the businesses,
Right.
restaurants and all those different folks, they talk a lot about value for money, which makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Got to keep people happy with the prices.
Absolutely.
But they're also innovating on like the supply side
Oh, okay.
with things like their Pinhao Fam,
Pinhao fan.
which is basically
Right.
a way to offer like more affordable meal options,
All
like
right.
maybe smaller portions
Okay.
or things like that.
That can appeal to different types of customers. And then they have these branded satellite stores,
Mm.
which is interesting because it lets like established brands kind of expand their reach without having to open a whole new like big location.
Right.
So they could have a smaller,
Less overhead.
less overhead, maybe focus on just delivery or pickup.
That's really smart.
And one area that seems to be really taking off for them is this Meituan Instamart,
Oh, okay.
which is like their on-demand retail side.
Right.
And that saw like really rapid growth,
In what areas? I'm curious.
especially in like those smaller cities
Oh,
that they've been kind of pushing into.
interesting.
And it's not just like convenience store stuff anymore.
Oh, so what else are they offering?
It's like they're bringing in bigger retailers
Yeah.
and offering a wider range of things that you can get delivered quickly.
Oh, okay.
Whether it's groceries or
Yeah.
like household items or,
So it's becoming kind of an all-in-one shop.
yeah, it really is.
That's fascinating.
And they're even talking about integrating it with like online doctor visits and prescription purchases.
Wow.
So like you could literally,
That's convenient.
yeah, it's becoming like a whole,
Ecosystem almost.
yeah, for your daily life.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
But they're also trying to be responsible about it.
Oh, okay.
Like
So-
it's not just about growth at all costs. They're
Okay.
putting a lot of effort into making sure the platform is sustainable
Oh, okay.
and like trustworthy.
In what ways are they doing that?
So they're doing things like making their promotional offers more clear, really focusing on food safety measures,
Right.
improving how they handle customer feedback,
Makes sense.
so they could really address any concerns.
Yeah, building that trust.
Yeah, exactly. And they're even putting money where their mouth is with this 1 billion RMB merchant support program.
Wow. Okay.
So that's
What does that program entail?
a mix of cash and subsidies to help those businesses thrive.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and they're also providing like free digital tools,
Oh, okay.
especially for those time-honored brands.
Interesting.
The ones that have been around for a long time,
Yeah,
help them kind of adapt to this digital world.
that's really cool.
Yeah. And it wasn't just the businesses getting support.
Okay.
They also talked a lot about their commitment to the delivery riders,
Right.
the folks who are out there every day getting those orders to people.
Right.
They invested a lot in things like occupational injury insurance.
Hmm.
And they're trying to make the work a little easier,
In what ways?
like things that prevent fatigue.
Right.
And they're doing stuff to support couriers who are hearing impaired.
Oh, wow.
They're providing aid to families in need.
Okay.
And they even have a pilot program for Social Security starting next year.
Oh, wow. So they're thinking long term.
Yeah. Seems like they're really trying to take care of their workforce.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. And they're aiming for even more growth in on-demand delivery.
Oh, really?
They're talking about exceeding 100 million daily orders.
Wow, that's ambitious.
Yeah, that's a lot of deliveries.
That is a lot of deliveries.
Uh,
I'm wondering how they're going to achieve that.
well, I think it's going to take a lot of like technological advancement,
Yeah.
like in terms of logistics,
Right.
probably more automation
Mm.
in their sorting and dispatching,
Yeah.
and definitely constantly refining their delivery routes,
Yeah.
to be as efficient as possible.
Makes sense.
But the fact that they're even aiming for that
Yeah.
suggests
They have a plan.
they have a lot of confidence
Yeah.
in their ability to handle that kind of volume.
Yeah.
And they also have this blockchain Meituan Q4 program,
Okay.
which is kind of cool.
What is that?
It's like virtual open kitchens.
Okay.
So people can actually see,
Like a live stream.
yeah, kind of like a live stream
Yeah.
into where their food is being prepared.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's all about transparency.
That builds trust.
Yeah, builds trust. Um, and speaking of growth, they're attracting a lot of new users,
Okay.
especially younger folks
Hmm.
who tend to be quite active on the platform.
It's a higher engagement.
Yeah, and they're spending more too.
No,
Like they have a higher average revenue per user.
Mm.
And on top of that, their existing users are finding more reasons to use Meituan,
What?
like throughout their day.
Okay.
It's not just for meals anymore. It's for errands, and
Oh,
different needs.
that's impressive.
Yeah, so they're really becoming like a go-to for a lot of people's daily lives.
Yeah.
And they're even seeing their Insta shopping grow faster than their core food delivery business.
Oh, wow.
So they're really diversifying their offerings, and they seem pretty confident about the profit growth in their on-demand delivery business.
Oh, okay.
They're saying things like improved efficiency and just the advantages of their scale are,
Economies of scale.
yeah, exactly, or helping them kind of keep those margins healthy.
Makes sense.
Now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about their in-store business.
Okay.
Because they actually saw an even bigger jump in order volume there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, over 65% year over year in 2024.
Wow.
That's huge.
That is huge.
So it really
There's
shows,
a lot of potential there.
yeah, like there's a lot of potential in that local services sector.
Yeah.
When we think about e-commerce, we often think about like buying physical goods.
Right.
But services like dining out, entertainment,
Yeah.
beauty, these are all massive markets. And Meituan is really tapping into that.
That makes sense.
And the growth in both users and merchants in this segment is really impressive.
So what do you think is driving that growth?
Well, I think their recent organizational changes have helped a lot.
Oh, okay.
Like they restructured things
Mm-hmm.
to be able to offer like a more comprehensive suite of tools and solutions
I see.
for these in-store businesses.
Interesting.
So they're integrating things like business infrastructure,
Okay.
like payment processing,
Yeah.
scheduling tools,
Makes sense.
marketing capabilities,
Mm-hmm.
ways for businesses to build their digital presence.
So it's like a one-stop shop.
Yeah, all on one platform.
That's really smart.
And it's making it easier for those local businesses to really thrive in this digital age.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're also using a lot of customized marketing tools,
Like what kind of tools?
things like special deals,
All right.
live streaming. They do these theme-based campaigns.
Mm.
And then they're also providing businesses with like data insights
Oh, okay.
to help them refine their operations. So
Interesting.
it's going way beyond just like listing a restaurant or a salon on an app.
Yeah.
It's really about like,
Empowering them.
yeah, giving them the tools to succeed. And their upgraded Shenhui Yuan membership is a really smart way to connect their different services.
Oh, okay. How so?
So they're basically directing traffic from their massive food delivery user base
Mm-hmm.
to those local in-store merchants.
That's smart.
Yeah.
So they're leveraging that existing user base.
Exactly. And they're tapping into this demand for more affordable leisure and entertainment options,
Mm.
expanding into new categories.
Like what?
Um, things like
Netflix.
experiences, activities, and they're making a big push into smaller cities and towns
Right.
with simplified tools for those smaller businesses
Okay.
and those tailored special deals. So they're really trying to cater to a wider range of,
Consumers.
yeah, consumer needs and budgets. And the hotel and travel sector is doing really well too,
Oh, really?
especially in those smaller cities.
Oh, okay.
And for the more budget-friendly options,
Mm.
they're strengthening their collaborations with the industry. And they've got these bundled deals like Hotel plus X.
Interesting.
And they're really good at like directing traffic to the right types of hotels.
Okay.
Whether you're looking for budget or luxury,
Mm.
they can kind of guide you to the right place.
That's smart.
And they're really optimistic about the continued growth of their in-store business.
Makes sense.
They're pointing out that the online penetration is still relatively low.
Oh, compared to physical goods?
Yeah, compared to like online shopping for physical goods.
Okay.
So there's a lot of room for growth there.
That makes sense.
They've also done some interesting things internally,
Oh, like what?
like renaming some of their divisions.
Okay.
So Insta at a Services 1000 is now the service retail unit,
Hmm.
which I think is a much clearer way to describe
Yeah,
what they're doing.
they're focused on.
Yeah. And that Shenhui Yuan program that we talked about,
Right.
that's going nationwide.
Wow.
And it's expanding to even more categories,
Like what?
like package tours and attraction tickets.
Oh, wow.
So it's becoming like a really central part of their strategy.
Hmm.
And a huge chunk of their core local commerce orders are now using it.
So it's really catching on.
Yeah. And they're planning to unify it even further
Okay.
under this like Meituan membership banner.
Interesting.
So it's
Yeah.
all about like building customer loyalty
Yeah, for sure.
and getting people engaged across their whole ecosystem.
Makes sense.
Now let's move on to their newer ventures
All right.
and their efforts to expand outside of China. They've been working on making their grocery, retail, and software and hardware services more efficient,
Hmm.
which is really important.
So they're streamlining things.
Yeah, they're streamlining, trying to make those operations leaner.
Okay.
And their key to food delivery service in Saudi Arabia is seeing some really rapid growth.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, they launched in Riyadh,
Okay.
and they've quickly expanded to other major cities.
Wow.
And it seems like their experience in the Chinese market is giving them a big advantage.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like they've learned how to operate in a really competitive environment.
Right.
And they're applying those lessons overseas. And their initial focus overseas is primarily on food delivery,
Okay.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Start with what, build a core user base.
Build that foundation.
Yeah. And then potentially introduce other services later on.
Right.
But while they're Oadays, Xiaoxian Supermarket,
Mm-hmm.
which is their first-party grocery model,
Okay.
while that has potential internationally in the long run,
Hmm.
it sounds like they're taking a more cautious approach for now.
So they're doing their research.
Yeah, they're doing market research. They're doing pilot programs.
Yeah.
They want to really understand those local markets before they go all in.
That makes sense.
And they're also seeing some interesting differences in terms of profitability overseas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in some markets, like in the Middle East, for example,
Okay.
they're finding that people are willing to pay more for these services.
Mm-hmm.
Like the average order value is higher.
Interesting.
So that could make their overseas ventures even more profitable in the long run.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah, and they're planning to significantly increase their investment in their overseas operations in 2025
Okay.
to really fuel that growth.
So they're going all in.
Well, they're going in.
Yeah.
But they're also emphasizing that they're going to be focusing on getting a good return on that investment
Okay.
and maintaining efficiency.
Right.
So it's not just about throwing money at the problem.
It's about being smart.
Yeah, it's about being strategic. And back in China, they've made some strategic adjustments to Meituan Select,
Yeah.
which is their group buying grocery service.
Right.
And they're really aiming to offer like comparable quality goods at significantly lower prices.
Then offline retailers.
Yeah, than traditional offline retailers.
That's ambitious.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But they think they have a unique business model that can really,
Disrupt things.
yeah, disrupt the market. Now let's talk about AI, because this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
They're taking a very proactive stance
Mm.
when it comes to AI.
So they're embracing it.
Yeah, they're calling it an offense, not defense strategy.
Interesting.
So they're not just trying to keep up.
They want to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, they want to be leaders in this space.
Yeah.
And their AI strategy has three main components.
Okay.
First, they're using AI to boost employee productivity.
Makes sense.
Second, they're integrating AI into their existing products and creating new AI-powered features.
Okay.
And third, they're building their own large language model,
Oh, wow.
which they call Longcat.
Long cat.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool name.
It is.
And it's already making a real impact internally.
So they're already seeing benefits?
Yeah, they're using it for everything,
Like what?
from writing code to assisting with customer service.
Oh, wow.
They're seeing like significant efficiency gains.
Give me an
Like,
example.
like in customer service, for example.
Okay.
They're saying that they're able to handle 20% more inquiries
Wow.
without sacrificing response times.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's a big deal. And their business development teams are seeing a 44% reduction in workload
Really?
thanks to an AI sales assistant.
That's amazing.
So it's really helping to free up their employees to focus on more strategic tasks.
Mm.
And they're also using AI to enhance their current products.
Okay.
Like they have this smart online store design tool for merchants.
Hmm.
And they're using AI to power things like chatbots and assistants to improve the user experience.
So it's becoming more personalized. Yeah.
Exactly. And they're planning to launch a new, more advanced AI assistant later this year.
Okay.
It's going to cover all of Meituan services,
Wow.
and it's going to leverage their on-demand delivery network. So imagine, like, you need something,
Yeah.
and this AI assistant can not only, like, find it for you,
Right.
but also get it delivered to you.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And they're investing a lot in the infrastructure that's needed to support all of this AI development.
Okay.
And Longcat, their large language model, is already performing at a level comparable to some of the top models in China.
Wow.
So they're really serious about this.
Yeah, they're not messing around.
And it's not just software either.
Okay.
They've also been early investors in autonomous delivery vehicles
Hmm.
and drones.
Wow.
And they've already completed millions of commercial orders
Really?
using these technologies.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so they're really thinking about the future of delivery and how to make it more efficient and sustainable.
That's great.
And they're even operating drones commercially in Dubai.
Wow, so they're taking it international.
Yeah, they're really pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at their financials.
Yeah.
Q4 2024 revenue growth was over 20%, and they managed to improve their cost ratios across the board.
So they're becoming more efficient?
Yeah, they're getting more efficient. Their total operating profit saw a huge jump,
Okay.
and their adjusted net profit reached 9.8 billion RMB.
That's a lot of profit.
Yeah, it is. And they have a very healthy net cash position.
So they're in a good financial spot.
Yeah, they're in a really strong position. And the rate at which their average order value was declining has slowed down
Oh, okay.
for both their delivery and in-store hotel travel businesses.
So things are stabilizing a bit?
Yeah, it could be a sign of stabilizing prices, or maybe people are just ordering more items.
Right.
But it's a positive trend either way.
Yeah.
And interestingly, their revenue from delivery services is growing faster than the number of orders, which suggests that they're relying less on user discounts. And more merchants are using their in-house delivery network.
Right.
So it's a shift in their revenue model. And their commission revenue and their advertising revenue are also both on the rise.
Okay.
So businesses are seeing value in using the platform.
To reach customers.
Yeah, to reach those customers. Now, their core local commerce business is becoming more profitable,
Okay.
but their newer initiatives are still operating at a loss. But that loss is getting smaller.
Even with the overseas investment.
Yeah, even with the increased investment in overseas expansion.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, it shows that they're managing that growth carefully.
Yeah.
And they're constantly evaluating how they allocate their capital,
Right.
weighing investments in new growth areas against returning value to shareholders.
Through buybacks.
Yeah, through things like share buybacks. They do have some significant debt repayments coming up in 2025.
Oh, okay.
But their recent bond issuance has strengthened their offshore cash reserves. So they seem to be managing their financial obligations pretty well.
Proactively.
Yeah. And they do prefer using share buybacks to return value to shareholders, primarily to offset the dilution from employee stock options.
Right.
But they are open to further reducing the number of outstanding shares.
Okay.
So to wrap it all up, Meituan had a really strong 2024,
Sounds like it.
driven by growth in their core businesses, strategic moves in international expansion, and significant investments in AI and technology, all while maintaining a focus on efficiency and shareholder returns.
That's impressive.
It is. It really shows how quickly this whole local services and technology space is evolving.
Yeah.
And Meituan is definitely at the forefront of that.
Yeah.
You know, they're not just reacting to change, they're really trying to shape it.
That's smart.
Yeah, and their investments in AI are a great example of that. So as you think about Meituan and their future, think about how this increasing integration of AI
Right.
into our everyday services might fundamentally change, not just how we interact with local businesses, but also our expectations for convenience and personalization.
That's a great point.
And it's something to really keep an eye on in the years to come. Thank you so much for tuning into the Quarterly Call. For more episodes, please remember to rate and follow our show. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.